Coastal Southwest Florida decimated. Ferocious Hurricane Ian shredding parts of the peninsula. The Category 4 storm making history as one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever make landfall in the Sunshine State.
That's going to rank as one of the top 5 hurricanes to ever hit the Florida Peninsula.
Ian slicing onto the coast Wednesday afternoon on the Barrier Islands near Fort Myers. We were right there. More than 2 million customers throughout the state losing power.
That's my grandparents' house.
In Fort Myers Beach, many waking up to find they've lost almost everything.
We're accessing the bridges. We're seeing what's compromised and what's not. And this will be a life-changing event for the men and women that are responding.
That was my house. My house is gone.
This neighborhood turning into an extension of the Gulf. WINK-TV in Fort Myers forced off the air after water submerged their newsroom. Water seeping into the first floor of this hospital in Port Charlotte. And in Tampa, powerful winds sending this tree into a home. The hurricane also one of the top 10 to make landfall in the U.S., roaring ashore near Kio Costa, carrying 150-mile-per-hour winds. About an hour later, making landfall a second time onto Florida's mainland south of Punta Gorda. As the winds shifted, we were right there in Ian's eye wall, the storm surge showing its power.
Well, the storm surge is flexing. We're about an hour into being in this eye wall. The storm is moving north of us, but we see these winds, and that little house that we were talking about all day has gone. Succumbed to the storm surge. Now the blue roof is all that's left floating in the water toward the building.
Up in the air, hurricane hunters flying inside Ian to gather more critical data, shaken by the extreme turbulence.
There goes the beds. Holy cow.
One of them describing it as the roughest flight of his entire career. Ian isn't done yet. As Southwest Florida picks up the pieces, the danger is far from over. That storm heading north with tropical storm force winds and inundating rains.
And Ginger Z joins me live now on the phone from Fort Myers. Ginger, it was incredible to see some of the images you were putting out as this storm came in, the before and after. We saw that dock disappear, the house disappear, the pool where you were being covered. What are you seeing there now?
Now it's the aftermath. All of the surge after about 7 hours of being in that eye wall started to recede, and everything that water moved is now displaced. It's everywhere. This hotel we're in is wrecked. I mean, it's standing. We were safe, but there's so much water, so much glass broke. I'm looking down in one of the areas, actually, where I did Good Morning America yesterday, where I was standing. There is a sea-doo that is blasted into the side of the wall. There are huge mechanical, maybe air conditioners or something that had come from the top, because we had winds, of 110 to 130 miles per hour for 6 hours. It was unreal. And a lot of times when you have a storm like this, that's both the wind and the surge, you look around and you can't tell what damage is from which. I'm looking out at the trees now, and they are shredded. There's not a leaf in sight. Some of the palms made it, some of them did not. But this is, again, we were in a fortress of a building. We were safe, but coming out here and anyone who tried to be anywhere on a ground level under 12 feet could not survive this. Many vehicles, a lot of the news crews here lost their vehicles. They were washing away in the water, because that type of water, 12 feet of water, can push homes off their foundation. I've seen it before. I watched it happen yesterday, and it is so unfortunate that so many people in Southwest Florida had to learn the lesson that how powerful that surge can be. And I know you're seeing the drone video. This is the other issue. The road out of here, covered in sand, silt, debris, trees. It's going to be really hard for not only people to get out, but for people to get in. So for those who have not yet gotten rescue, and I'm coming to you on an old school flip phone that we use for communication back to you all in New York, no matter where we are. Most people's phones are not working at all. I have one of the only operating phones around, and we're going to be passing it to all these people because they want to make sure their families know they're safe. The communication is going to be a big issue. The rescue is going to be a big issue, and then the cleanup. And as the catastrophic warnings warned, and I was talking about this yesterday, and you hate to see it verify, we will not see power, and this could be uninhabitable for weeks or months.
Yeah, we keep seeing that video of all the destruction, but the one that strikes me the most is you can see a house floating in the water. You just see the top, just the roof of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, terrifying to think of the water and the wind being that powerful. So, Ginger, what's the biggest concern now?
Yeah, so the concern now is, people often say, oh, it was downgraded, and it was. It's a tropical storm. So as it moves northeast, the problem with this one is you still will have 16 inches of rain. So after storm surge, which is the #1 killer, flash flooding is the second most killer. And that's something that people are going to be dealing with through central and northeast Florida into South Carolina, because it's going to recurve, come back at you, and they're going to have surge in Charleston and Savannah, at least the possibility of 3 to 5 feet. So 3 to 5 feet is nothing to sneeze at, but it's not 12 to, I anticipate we'll see numbers upwards of 15. And just to give you some perspective, in the last, modern history, like Naples, their surge reports go back to the 1950s, late 50s, early 60s. They had a record surge by far. Like, they smashed their record. A lot of these beaches and these towns had not seen water like this since most of our generation has been around. And I think that also is remarkable. And once the numbers get verified, I think we'll see much more history made by Ian.
Yeah, we often think of Florida being prepared for storms, but it seems this was a storm no one could prepare for. Ginger Z, we appreciate it as always. Stay safe, friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.